What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are doing our Monday Night Raw review for last night's show, which is June 19th, 2023. And last night's show was, there was a lot of rumors going around before the show. There was, Johnny Gargano was going to show up, Ciampa was going to return, Braun Breaker was going to be on the show. So there was going to be a lot of people that were interested in the show. Now, I think the show still was pretty solid. I don't think it lived up to the hype beforehand, but yet again, I think that it's another WWE show that I am, like, there's not any complaints that are gonna, for me, that are gonna go overboard. And I think that but I do think that SmackDown is the much harder show at the moment. Now, Monday Night Raw started with Seth Rollins, and it's been starting with Seth Rollins for, like, the last, like, couple of weeks. But, Seth Rollins was supposed to do an open challenge, and this was quickly stopped by Finn Balor, who's facing Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank. And I do like this overall. I think Finn Balor needed some revenge after last week. And I think that Finn kind of got humiliated with the crowd and Seth Rollins. So Finn Balor just wasn't going to let up. It wasn't going to be just like a normal attack. Finn Balor hit a coup de grace on Seth like 3 times. And absolutely was beating his ass, which I do like. I know a lot of people wanted to see the open challenge, but the more I think about it, the more this builds really good into the storyline with Seth Rollins, which I think is a very key thing here. And another thing that I wanted to quickly say is I believe the open challenge, as I'm recording this video, it was supposed to be Tomasso Ciampa versus Seth Rollins, but Triple H cut in and said no because Triple H did not want Ciampa to lose his first match back, which leads some people to believe that Vince McMahon was willing to have Ciampa answer Seth Rollins' open challenge and lose, and Triple H was like, I don't think we're going to be doing this. I think we're going to be, I think Ciampa should win, which I think is a good idea, obviously, and I pretty much already gave it away. Tomasso Ciampa returned. The Miz offered an open challenge of his own after Seth couldn't do one, and Ciampa returned with "No One Will Survive." It is back, baby. Like, Ciampa returned in the most perfect way possible. I mean, you can't book a return better than what you could do with Ciampa. And long-term storytelling, he faced the Miz, who, you know, that whole Ciampa versus Miz storyline was asinine. And Ciampa rolled to a win over The Miz. It's great to see Ciampa back. And Ciampa hinted at maybe a DIY reunion and maybe going up to the World Heavyweight Championship. Ciampa said, if you want things right, you have to do it yourself. That leads me to believe that Ciampa is going to try to go back to the older days. And if I had to think about the older days, DIY is the simple answer for that. That's when Ciampa was his most happiest. Next up, Seth Rollins and Finn continue their fight. I thought I'd just capture this photo. Finn Balor attacks Seth Rollins backstage. Funny meme here. Like I said, I know people wanted the open challenge, but I think this just makes Finn and Seth's match that much bigger. Seeing Finn Balor just relentlessly attack Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins was hurt. Not legit hurt, but you know what I mean. And the Judgment Day wouldn't stop there. They would come out after Ciampa beat The Miz, and Finn Balor would cut a promo. It's finally good to see Finn Balor talk, and I liked it. It's like Finn Balor, he is pissed off. Like, Finn Balor is maximum levels of angry. But the whole Judgment Day would speak. Damian Priest would talk about how he'd win Money in the Bank. Rhea would hype up Dominic beating Cody. So overall, good promo by the Judgment Day. Rhea saying she runs the women's division. Not the best women's division, but you know what I mean. But, you know, it was a good promo by the Judgment Day. You know, typically what you would expect from Judgment Day. Everyone getting a chance to talk. And also, look at the merch that Dom and Rhea have. I mean, if they sell this in the WWE shop, I guarantee you that a lot of people will buy it. Like, I just realized on wrestling Twitter and beyond, Rhea has got a lot of fans, which I love to see anyways, because Rhea is so talented. Next up, we had KO and Sammy backstage, and Sammy finally talked about Kevin Owens' rage problem, so to speak. And I knew this was going to happen. I had that feeling that this was going to happen one of these days, but it happened on Raw. And Sammy gave KO a challenge. Basically, he said, Sammy would not ever talk about KO rage problems again if he could go the entire Monday Night Raw without raging. And I thought this was great. I thought this was actually funny. And, obviously things were going wrong for KO right afterwards. Someone spilled water on him. Matt Riddle was randomly talking to KO for some reason. But KO was respectful. And I really like this a lot. Tag team chemistry thing. Nice little storyline here. And also, if KO gets angry in the coming weeks, I would love to see Dr. Shelby come back and, help out Kevin Owens. A KO and Sammy and Dr. Shelby segment would absolutely be perfect. Next up, we had a Chelsea. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville were facing Kaden and Katana, which is a good women's tag team match. But what really headlined it was what happened beforehand. They had a Karen TikTok segment where basically they showed Chelsea Green acting like a Karen. Karen TikToks are some of the most popular TikToks on the platform. Basically, Chelsea Green would be the headline of this, and I loved it. Like Chelsea Green right now is not only being booked perfectly, but Chelsea Green is, one of the best returns to the Triple H. They are doing her character perfectly. And obviously in the match, Kaden and Katana rolled to a win over Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. It's good to see them win. I want to see Sonya and Chelsea win as much as the next person. And I definitely was a little bit bummed to see that Chelsea wasn't in the Money in the Bank ladder match. But, Kaden and Katana needed to win their first match on Raw, and they did. Now, Cody Rhodes had an interview segment with Kathy Kelly in front of everybody, which I thought was a nice little touch. But Cody Rhodes basically accepted the Judgment Day's challenge, and that would be our main event. Cody would have to find 2 partners to face the entire Judgment Day. Next up would be one of the, if not the top segment of the night. Logan Paul put himself in the Money in the Bank ladder match, which literally, they gave it away. They didn't even have a Logan Paul entrance or anything. They had Logan Paul sit on top of the ladder. So they're basically they started the segment with here's the deal. Logan Paul's in Money in the Bank. Logan Paul's going to tell you that he's in Money in the Bank. But, we're just going to reveal it right away. But everyone in Money in the Bank, or everyone in the Money in the Bank ladder match, wasn't necessarily happy with Logan Paul. Ricochet came out, Shinsuke Nakamura came out, everyone came out. But the headlining person that came out was LA Knight. The pop that LA Knight got last night was easily his biggest in the company. You can't even rival anybody else's crowd reactions to it. People were cheering as soon as they heard the LA Knight in this theme song. LA Knight basically told Logan Paul, you make content for 14-year-old girls, shove those balls of prime up your ass, yada, yada, yada. Perfection. And the crowd was loving it. LA Knight destroyed Logan Paul on the mic. Logan Paul, legit looked like, oh, wow, this guy's going hard. And this Logan Paul and LA Knight rivalry, I am so here for it. I mean, the two mega stars. Perfect. Next up, we have Kaiser versus Riddle, which was kind of boring to me. I didn't really pay attention too much to the match. Afterwards, Gunther beat up Matt Riddle. He injured his foot. And I guarantee you that next week, Matt Riddle is going to be so mad. He's going to challenge he's going to challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. That's how I see this going. And also, before we get any further, LA Knight for Money in the Bank, baby. Next up, after Rhea beat up Natalya, that match didn't even get made official. Raquel Rodriguez stared down Rhea Ripley. I think this would be a good SummerSlam match. I said it on Twitter. Really just a perfect SummerSlam match all around. I think it'd be great. So Raquel was facing Trish. Pretty damn good in women's Money in the Bank qualifying match. Trish and Raquel were getting a decent amount of time. Trish was selling her ass off at 57, I believe her age is. Or 53. I don't want to say 57. Because 57, I don't think Trish is 57. If she is 57, that's goddamn impressive. But, Becky came out. Becky wanted to eliminate Zoe Stark from costing Raquel. And she hit Trish. And cost Raquel because the referee saw it, got Raquel disqualified, and Trish Stratus is the last woman in the Money in the Bank ladder match. The women's field is set. Trish is the last one in, and Raquel is left wondering what the hell happened. And obviously, this reaction from Becky Lynch says it all. However, I loved how this played out. You know, the whole women's Money in the Bank ladder match is storyline driven. It's not just randomly sticking people in. And it gives some time for Raquel to build her character before facing Rhea. Now, next up, we had Braun Breaker. I thought Braun Breaker might be involved in the Open Challenge, but a backstage interview works too. And Braun Breaker killed it in this backstage interview. He was definitely, you know, since switching Braun the heel, I've had no problems with what Braun Breaker's been doing. I have not had no complaints whatsoever with Braun Breaker. Basically, he's like calling Seth Rollins a coward. He's like, Seth Rollins, you know, Seth Rollins isn't a real man if he's just gonna say he's hurt. And he can't face me tomorrow night. But next up, we had Bronson versus Shinsuke, which was a banger. It didn't get a lot of time. Bronson versus Shinsuke went back and forth. Ricochet was ringside, which makes a lot of sense, because I think Shinsuke versus Ricochet is probably going to happen next week on Raw. But, anyways, Bronson beat Shinsuke Nakamura with the Tsunami. And who knows? Maybe Bronson Reed could be added to the Money in the Bank ladder match. I extremely doubt it, because I think Logan Paul was that last icing on the cake for WWE to add. But Bronson Reed's been booked very well, and I like that WWE just isn't having Bronson Reed lose to all the Money in the Bank competitors. They're still booking Bronson Reed strong, which I think Bronson Reed is definitely booked strong on the Triple H. Next up, Seth Rollins. We would hear from Seth Rollins, and we would hear to Seth Rollins. He will face Braun Breaker today, because I'm filming this on a Tuesday. Seth Rollins would face Braun Breaker. Thank God. I really want, if they canceled Seth versus Braun Breaker, that would kill the hype. You know, I was already a little bit bummed out that we didn't get an open challenge match. And if they canceled Seth versus Braun, there would be a lot of people pissed off. So thank God we get to see that. Next up, main event time. Cody Rhodes coming out, loud whoa chants. Sammy was vibing to Cody Rhodes' theme song, which, you know, makes Sammy that much more relatable to us. And main event was really good. The crowd was going nuts with the chants. I mean, this crowd was calling Dom a pussy and stuff. Cleveland is one of the good crowds out there. And obviously the result was obvious. Damian Priest got pinned. He got destroyed by KO, Sammy, and Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes got the pin because, of course, he did. And, you know, Cody acting like he has a title. He doesn't, but Cody making a joke that he has an imaginary title. Great main event. You know, I'm fine. The main event was very satisfying. It didn't feel like we had a ton of matches tonight. I don't know. I felt like when I was in person for the last 2 weeks, we had a ton of matches, but it didn't. This week, it felt like we were short on matches. I have no idea. But also, I just wanted to say this. Johnny Gargano was not on the show. Hopefully he's doing well. You know, not being booked in your hometown is one of the most hardest things to do, especially in WWE, and especially the crowd we got last night. You know, the crowd was ready for that. The crowd was ready to have a massive pop. And judging by the crowd we got last night, we would have had a massive Johnny Gargano pop, but we didn't get it. So hopefully we'll see Johnny Gargano on TV. If Johnny Gargano somehow sees this, we love you, Johnny, and we hope to see you on WWE programming soon. With that, that's it for the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.